Chelsea defeating Fulham by 2-0. Yes, we know that Chelsea are flying very, very high with their quality in the squad. The likes of Joao Pedro Enzo Fernandes getting the goals for the Blues. Now, this put them in a very poor position of fighting for the league. And of course, the magical touch by Enzo Maresca, the head coach of Chelsea. Everything seems to be flying for the Blues. And over the weekend, they dismantled Fulham by 2-0. Away from that, there were some interesting results that also happened as far as match week 3 of the English Premiership is concerned. Now, let's talk about a game that transpired between Brighton and Hove Albion and Manchester City. I don't know what is actually wrong with Pep Guardiola's men. They are flattering to deceive after winning their very first game in the season. They've gone ahead to lose 2 more games as far as the English Premiership is concerned, raising a lot of questions about the signings that he made, the pages that he made, and he, for instance, as the head coach of the team, what is he actually doing to avert some of the bad omens that they are chalking? Remember, from last season coming, Manchester City hasn't been the same. Yes, they placed second they placed third in the English Premiership last season, but things couldn't really work out for them as planned. And this season, it looks as if they've been very, very sluggish, losing back-to-back games as far as the Premiership is concerned. And so many supporters of Manchester City are calling for the head of Pep Guardiola because it looks as if things are not really working out for him. And he has to be shown the exit door, just as so many team supporters of Manchester City are calling for. But it was a good win for Brighton and Hove Albion. They picked up their very first win of the season. And it's a good one for the team as they move on as far as the season is concerned. Now, let's talk about the game that happened at the Old Trafford. Manchester United. They really had to squeeze water out of stone to get this particular win. For Manchester United to have stayed there for Burnley to score 2 and nearly draw or drew this particular fixture, it was going to be a big blow for Ruben Amorim. I've stated it clearly that regardless of this result, I still feel that Ruben Amorim should be shown the exit door because it looks as if things are not working out for him. He cannot really define the style of play for Manchester United. The players are not really buying into his philosophy and nothing seems to be working for Manchester United. And they really suffered playing against Burnley. He had to take a last-minute penalty for Captain Bruno Fernandes to ship in that goal for them to ensure that at least they won by 3-2. Now, what is actually happening? Because Everton is doing something magical and David Moyes is doing the Lord's work. They went all the way to Molineux to defeat Wolves by 3-2. That was magical. And I think that people should really watch out for this team called Everton. What Jack Grealish is doing in that Everton squad, something amazing is happening. And this season, I'm pretty sure that they are going to take the league by storm. Now, let's talk about my very final one as far as the EPL is concerned. Tottenham Hotspur. After beating Burnley by 3-0, whipping Manchester City at their own backyard by 2-0, sat at home to lose to Bournemouth by 1-0. That is something that I cannot fathom because you look at the speed at which Thomas Frank is sending this Tottenham team to, and for them to have lost to Burnley at home, at least a draw would have been okay. But this is a Tottenham Hotspur team that lost narrowly to Bournemouth. And in that particular game, Mohamed Kudus, the darling boy for Tottenham Hotspur, flattered to deceive. He did not really show up. We didn't see the likes of Bernard Johnson also showing up in the game. Richarlison was off color. A lot of players for Tottenham Hotspur in that particular fixture, were off color. And I think that it's a reality check for Thomas Frank. Time for him to, go back to the drawing board and try to reshuffle his tactics as far as the EPL is concerned. Now, away from the English Premiership, obviously. Now, let's talk about the Italian Calcio Serie A. And of course, obviously, it's Napoli who are the defending champions of the Italian Calcio Serie A. And yesterday had to really struggle to get that one goal as far as the game was concerned. And if I'm to bring you the results, that is what happened actually at the city of Naples, where Napoli defeated Cagliari by 1-0. It had to take a 99th minute goal, a 90 plus 5 minute goal rather, a 90 plus 5 minute goal from Anguissa. for Napoli to have won this particular one, and it's a reality check for Antonio Conte as well, because you can't really be swollen headed simply because you've been winning games. But yesterday or over the weekend, we saw Cagliari, giving them boot for boot and telling them that look, this season is not going to be that easy for Napoli. But of course, there are other matches that have come off as far as the Italian Calcio Serie A is concerned. You talk about how Atalanta also drew 1-0 to Parma. It was a very great game for Kamaldeen Sulemana and a couple of Ghanaians who also had a bite in this particular game. For AC Milan, it looks as if their mojo is back. AC Milan went to Lecce, defeated them by 2-0. And guess what? Christian Pulisic had his name on the score sheet. And of course, the man, Loftus-Cheek, also had his name on the score sheet. Don't forget that these two players are former Chelsea players, and they are doing so wonderfully well for AC Milan. Their mojo is back, and we see. I mean, let's look forward to what they also have to offer as far as the season is concerned. There are other major games that came off as Juventus try to at least this season come up and ensure that at least they win the Scudetto this time around. But the chase is on. Napoli is winning, Inter is winning. Some key clubs are also grinding their results, and so the chase is on as far as the Italian Calcio Serie A is concerned. Now let's move straight to the Spanish La Liga and talk about, of course, the two biggest clubs in the Spanish La Liga. Real Madrid yesterday, did justice to their fixture whereby they won. It was a very narrow win for Real Madrid. They really suffered by winning by 2-1 when they came back from behind. But there are still concerns about the Real Madrid defense. I mean, for Mallorca to have at least put a ball at the back of Real Madrid clearly gives signs that still Alonso has a lot of work to do as far as the backline of Real Madrid is concerned. Yes, Vinicius Jr. came into the party, scored a goal for Real Madrid, and they won by 2-1. But Madrid doesn't look convincing. And it will have to take time for Alonso to put out his philosophy, where these guys will embed it and make sure that they work with the philosophy of Alonso and ensure a smooth run of the Spanish La Liga. But I tell you what, Real Madrid isn't looking convincing. Yes, they've had purchases buying the likes of Dean Hodgson, buying Trent Alexander-Arnold. Couple of players have joined, Real Madrid. Yes, still they are showing signs of, some weakness as far as their backline is concerned, and even up front as well. Yes, Kylian Mbappe is doing the Lord's work, but you've not really seen him this season for Real Madrid. Now, away from that, don't forget that's on Monday, Rayo Vallecano will take on FC Barcelona and Barca. Okay, so that is tonight. Rayo Vallecano will take on FC Barcelona. It's a game that everyone is also looking forward to as far as the Spanish La Liga is concerned. I'll wrap up with the German Bundesliga and the French League 1, where Dortmund also defeated Union Berlin by 3-0. And Sergio Guirassy, getting his name on the score sheet, scoring 2 goals for Borussia Dortmund. And don't forget that, the defending champions, Bayern Munich, also, grinding results over there. 3-2. They actually scored 3 goals on a trot, where Osberg also came in to, banking the other 2 goals. And it was a nervy moment for Bayern Munich. But without that notwithstanding, they still held on to their nerve and won this particular fixture and ensure that they increase their tally as far as the German Bundesliga is concerned. They are still on 6 points after 2 games, closely followed by Eintracht Frankfurt, who also has 6 points. FC Cologne, so as it stands now, also has 6 points, and Dortmund also has 6 points. And so that'll be all for our wrap up this week. My name is Agro Nana Yaupoko, and this has been our Media Sports.